All right, we're going to talk about Devin Booker replacing Anthony Davis in the All-Star game. But first, let's talk about y'all got LeBron James. And the Lakers be on the 4-game slide without AD. And don't forget, without Dennis Schroeder as well, too. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Appreciate the love and support. Everybody showing the channel. But, I mean, not surprised. He's 36. You know, everybody was impressed how he carried the Cavs for years. I wouldn't say he carried the Heat. He had a lot of help over there, but you know, at some point, the reason AD is so important. Let's start off there. The reason AD is so important, defensively, they no longer have Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, which was a dumb move. They should have kept one. So now you don't have that anchor that can be your last line of defense. When you look at most great defensive team, they had an anchor. Remember in the NBA, they used to have a lot of great anchors. You had the Georgetown boys, Mutombo, Lonzo, Mourning. You had Patrick Ewing. I mean, people talking about, well, you know, the big guys yesterday didn't shoot threes. Shit, Sam Perkins, Terry Mills. It was somebody else too that shot threes. I can't remember, but shit, Bill Laimbeer. But you don't have those anchors no more. Like, remember you had like Ducksworth, Kevin Willis, the Davis boys, Antonio Dale Davis. You used to have anchors on every team. And this is why, you know, one of the reasons these guys are able to score so many points. Because back in the day, they scored as many points too than just twos. The reason they're able to score as many points not because there's no big man in the league. Here, Anthony Davis, I don't want to be a center. I want to be a Toys R Us kid when I grow up. You know, guys don't want to embrace being centers. They done took centers and made them lame. But to be honest, you know, Michael Jordan was going against, you know, Keem Olajuwon, the Georgetown boys, you know, Rick Mahorn, you know, Dennis Rodman. You know, you had to have an anchor. Shaquille O'Neal. You had a lot of anchors. If they didn't score buckets, they was able to defend. You know, and that's what it was. And now you don't have those guys. Karl Anthony Towns, man, he wouldn't have been able to play in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. He's too soft. You know, you talking about Andre Drummond. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think he's that great defensively. At least with the Pistons. But you don't have no anchors no more. You know, and, you know, look at DeAndre Ayton. Garbage. You used to have some guys that can anchor a defense. And right now, the Lakers got rid of all they anchors, and now they just with AD. And with AD had a history of being injury prone. So why wouldn't you keep Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee? You know, in actuality, man, LeBron, at this point, you know, his second half of his career, he don't want to defend. Had him, Kevin Love, and Kyrie defended, they would have probably beat the Warriors with KD. Real talk. But they couldn't stop nobody. And that's kind of LeBron's Achilles heel. LeBron ain't been one of those dudes that can clamp down and stop nobody. He can clamp down and stop the Derrick Roses of the world. He ain't nobody that's gonna sit down and clamp down and stop nobody. He ain't gonna stop no Kevin Durant. He ain't gonna stop no Devin Booker no more. He not that player. Michael Jordan, you know, was a clamp. His first you know, outside of Washington, that was his thing. He was gonna clamp down, and people compare him to Michael. People say compare him to being one of the greatest overall players. He not. How can you be the greatest overall player when you don't defend? People in this era forget about defense. No matter how much, you know, defense remind people in this era. You know, even with the Kansas City Chiefs and whoever's been the winners, you have to be able to lock down. And LeBron James has never been no willing defender. Then when the crowd about the year Marc Gasol got the war, shit. Only time I ever seen him lock somebody down was Derrick Rose. In crunch time. But, you know, this is what happens when you don't have depth. When you don't have JaVale McGee, you don't have Dwight Howard. When you don't have them boys, they made a mistake. You know, when you don't have them anchors down there. LeBron ain't gonna sit there and lock down Donovan Mitchell no more. He never would have. LeBron want to preserve himself for the offensive side of the ball. He want to be lazy. He want to conserve all his energy for the offensive side of the ball. He forget his two sides of the ball like his fans forget. How you be the greatest player of all time when you don't have the credentials of Michael Jordan? You don't have the credentials of Kobe Bryant. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Hakeem Olajuwon, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, all that shit in 1 year. Plus, he won the NBA Finals. He ain't the greatest overall all-around player of the world. They forget about Hakeem Olajuwon and Kobe Bryant of the world, Larry Birds, who can lock shit down. He just so happened to fall in the era where defense was just, seemed to be lame. Like if you go outside with a pair of Jabot pants on, or Red Monkeys, this ain't the 90s or the early 2000s. That's what they make defense. Defense matters, and Anthony Davis' absence is showing that it matters. With LeBron's unwillingness to fucking guard anybody, now, without your anchor, people gonna score. And I ain't surprised. He's straight out the MVP conversation. Coming straight out of the MVP conversation. A lazy defensive nigga named LeBron James. With a female's attitude. When he angry, he just put his hands on his hips like a bitch. I already been saying I ain't like that nigga, dog. That's a bastard. It's a pussy. You can tell he was raised by a single mother. Pussy. I really ain't really care for him, bro. But it don't mean that AD the most important player at all. Because if LeBron James was out, maybe they win a game. Maybe they will be 1-3 or 2-2. But LeBron James matter too, because how he able to create offense and make the game easier for everybody else. When LeBron drive, all eyes on him. All eyes on me. He able to kick and give Caldwell Pope a good look. But they lost so much depth last year with Danny Green, the big fellas. You add Dennis Schroeder, that's cool. But to be honest, Dennis Schroeder, he is, if LeBron go down, he a good supplement for setting guys up, and he can score a bit, and he can hit open shot. He a good player for creating somebody else's offense, or helping create offense for others. So if AD had Dennis Smith Jr., it'd be different. But Dennis Schroeder, excuse me. But when LeBron James down, he got Dennis Smith. That can kind of alleviate the pain for LeBron being gone. But with AD, they don't have no answer. They don't have no McGee. They don't have no Drummond. They don't, or somebody down there that can, do the dirty work. The Dwight Howard no more. They don't have that no more. Now you seeing it. It ain't like LeBron gonna be willing to go down and play the 5. He not. He ain't no rookie Magic Johnson. He ain't gonna be willing to go down that 5 spot and defend, even in his watered down era. Had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt, Bill Russell. You had a lot of anchors throughout this era. But it is what it is. So they cried, and Devin Booker is actually going to replace Anthony Davis in the NBA All-Star game this year. So, All-Star game in which they shouldn't be having, which the mayor of Atlanta, she telling people not to come down to Atlanta for the All-Star game. They're going to have one night where they got everything. They'll have a 3-point shootout, the dunk contest. I heard Zion thinking about it. They'll have it all in one night. So, that is what it is, man. Good for him. He got in there. But you could have made the case for Brandon Ingram, which they ain't winning. You could have made a case for a lot of guys to get in. Sabonis in the Eastern, Jeremy Grant in the Eastern Conference. But, Devin Booker get in. And really, at this point, I think the Suns might have second best record. But that's a water under the bridge because the votes has already been calculated. But let me see. Because they lost a couple. They lost a game or two ago, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, the Suns still got the 4th record. They lost. They still behind the Lakers. The Lakers still in the 3 spot, but if they keep falling, they fall far because AD might be gone for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, a month. That Achilles shit, because remember with Kevin Durant, he went back out there and played on the Achilles because a lot of them players were saying he wasn't giving 100%. He just saving himself free agent, and they peer pressured him. They sneak peer pressured him, and going to play on that and Achilles, and he blew his shit back out. After basically saying they ain't need them, they eyes lit up in the huddle, and it's ready. And look at Golden State with they hating asses and what position they is. So they need to let AD heal, because whatever spot they in, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, healthy AD is going to get y'all out of that spot. But with Devin Booker, congratulations from him. He already know I go for all my Michigan boys, Grand Rapids, Flint. He from Grand Rapids. So, he got to keep elevating this game to make his teammates better. But I think Chris Paul did that. But let me know what you guys think about Devin Booker making an All-Star team, replacing Anthony Davis. Let me know what you guys think about LeBron and Lakers on the 4-game slide, and them basically getting LeBron out the MVP conversation for now. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, all our social media subscription. Want to make a donation, Cash App, PayPal in the description. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Goodfellas Sports TV. Y'all know what the business is.